Welcome to the Release Your Blocks podcast. I am your host, Victoria Bond. I am a spiritual empowerment coach. I help teach others to show up to their potency so they can fulfill their mission here on earth. I am so glad you are here. And if you are interested in becoming a medium, if you're interested in becoming a life coach, or if you're interested in shifting your life from the 3D to live more in the 5D reality, then check me out, book a clarity call, and let's get chatting.
Quantum leaping and collapsing timelines. We hear this all the time in the holistic field. We hear this all the time in the coaching industry as well. But what does it actually mean to you? What does it feel like to you? Are you actually playing in the realm of quantum leaping and collapsing timelines? When I first heard this concept, I was really drawn to it, and I was like, I have no idea what that means, but it feels good. I wonder what else is possible with this. So I went on this journey of self-exploration and went, you know what? I am deciding and choosing to become more conscious. And to become more conscious, it means that you have to be in awareness of everything. You cannot be in a mode where you need to protect yourself from all the bad and the evil and the resistance of the world. You actually must expand yourself and become greater and more larger than you have ever comprehended. You are not just a body. You are a being as well and a soul. So I always tell people how we have a human. The human body is super important to look after and to nurture, to fuel, to feed. And yes, we have to protect the human body because it needs clothes. It gets cold. It's a sensitive vessel. We have to have a roof over our head to protect us from the outside elements. We have to drink water and we have to eat food for our human bodies. And our human bodies love to be touched, okay? You think about babies. How much touch a baby gets and the nutrients they get, how they're looked after, how they're warm, all of those things is a massive contribution to their whole entire reality as they're growing up human. Then we have the being. The being is what I call your spirit. And this is, it's so delicious because it's so much larger than the human body, but of course it works with the human body. So your being, and you can do it right now, you can just drop your barriers and expand out. Your being is large. It is so large. You can expand it larger than the actual earth that you're on currently and expand all the way out to the cosmos and feel one with source, and you can access this and become, have conscious awareness of this when you are in a meditative state, when you are just kind of drifting off to sleep or waking up and you feel like, I just feel so comfortable and relaxed because you've let go of the concept that you are just a human body and you actually acknowledge that you're so much larger. And then many people, they shrink back in and go, better fit back into the suit. And it's like trying to fit into jeans that just don't quite fit because you're trying to fit into a human body and recognize yourself as just a human body. But the fact is you're so much larger, right? And then, of course, we have the soul. And the soul is the thing that is incarnated, or reincarnated over and over and over and over and over and over again and is infinite in my interesting point of view. It is an infinite soul. Now, I don't necessarily think that the being and the spirit is infinite. I believe that this is your blueprint, this is you, and this will be forever. But it doesn't mean that, you morph and change your spirit into other people. So the consciousness is infinite, but it doesn't reincarnate. It is your blueprint. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I go back and don't say that it's not infinite, but it doesn't replay and replay and replay and replay. You are there. So I am Victoria Bond and I always will be Victoria Bond, but my soul will go on and have other experiences on other planets. I have been on many planets. I am a self-proclaimed starseed where I've had many different experiences on many different planets, and I still am doing that. I'm multidimensional. I'm still living in different timelines as we speak in different dimensions right now, which is super interesting. But I believe that Victoria Bond is me. And I've got my husband, Luke, and my children, Adelie and CJ, and I've got my clients, and I've got my dog, and I've got my house and my family and all the things. And I believe that Victoria Bond will be able to visit her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren. And I can travel throughout time, space, and dimensions, and I can go visit, those different soul streams that I have here as well. And I do have this human body, which will become dust one day as it goes back to the earth. So it's kind of interesting when we start considering that we are more than just a human body. We're an infinite soul, an infinite consciousness, and we have this spirit which will forever be. And being a medium, I can let you know, I see blueprints and spirits all the time. I see them absolutely all the time, and that's what I do as a medium. So it's really, really interesting because it's like, well, how can I quantum leap? And how can I collapse timelines? And how can I expand the human that I am living, within right now? Because I am the 3-in-1. So how can I transform my reality and go from broke to rich, from sad to ecstatic? How can I go from a shitty relationship to a powerful one? How do I go from being a stressed out mum to a blissful one? How do I go from having no clients to like millions of clients? How do I do these things? That's the collapsing the timelines. It is aligning to your most highest timeline of what your soul's purpose is and your soul's growth. So you get to play together, these 3-in-1. It's about embodying with your body, the soul, integration, and what your spirit is here to do. Your spirit is here to do a whole lot of awesome amazingness, and using your body to do that, to actually embody these experiences. So you can speed this all up. So for instance, some of the channels that I've been receiving recently in my Magnificent Mediumship, in my Evolve Mastermind, and in my one-to-ones is this incredible information that we are collapsing the timelines. So by doing the light language and by recoding and by shifting through the mistaken beliefs, the limitations, and becoming more conscious in our minds and in our soul and in our body and our spirit, all the things, actually helps us to become more abundant in all ways. So where we have thought, oh yes, a breathwork session or going through mistaken beliefs or tapping it out, doing some EFT or meditation or, whatever is just lovely and it's all those extras. In fact, it isn't the extras. It is the actual work. Because when you leave your body and you start playing more in your being, aka spirit, magic and miracles happen. Magic and miracles happen because you allow yourself to not identify just as the human. You honor the human, you love the human, but the human is only 1/3 of the equation because the being is here, the spirit is here with the contracts, with the mission and the purpose. And we say soul's purpose, but what if it was your being's purpose, your spirit's purpose? What if you were here to really help clean up the lineage of your ancestors? And what if you were all a part of the same kind of soul soup, right? So a lot of the things that we want and need, the shoulda, the woulda, the coulda, all of that kind of 3D linear stuff, we are going to align and agree and resist and react to because we are trying to fit into the other humans' realities that are around us, that we have chosen to be around. And if things are happening to you which are bad, seemingly bad, or traumatic, or wonderful and magical, we have to know that we've chosen this. We've chosen this on a soul level, may not maybe not the details of the trauma, of what happened in the trauma or the bad stuff that's happening or whatever, but it's the vibration. So if everything is vibration and you are calling in absolute next level quantum leaping, then you have to let go of the attachments that you've created that have kept you in the reality of the other people. It doesn't mean you have to step out completely from everybody's worlds and have nothing to do with anybody, that there is bypassing the gifts that are given to you. We all know there's, a family member or a friend or a boss or somebody that's been in your life that you're like, why the fuck are you in my life? I hate you. I don't want you anywhere near me. Everyone's had that experience, but what if that person that was giving you that experience was actually being the biggest contribution of your human reality? So your being could shift and quantum leap, and your soul could have that experience of oneness, of allness that it's choosing. I never used to understand the concept of oneness, because I was told that it was very new age and it was wrong and it was bad, and it was one of those things that was very new age. And as I've delved into my own spirituality and my own kind of concepts and beliefs, and I've questioned everything and I've stayed in the question with everything, I've actually come to the realization that the idea of heaven and earth, of purgatory, is actually so much more limiting than where I want to go in my conscious mind. I'm not dismissing them and saying they're not real. I believe that whatever we believe is completely, totally, and utterly real. But what I'm saying is, if there is no time, and if time literally is a concept that we have here on planet Earth that we have created, let's not pretend that we don't create here. We are not victims of the system here. We are the system. Then we get to live outside of that time if we are the creators of time. So the time actually is not linear. That is just this dimension that we're choosing to live in when we're functioning from linear time. So if we can play with Einstein time, if we can play with the concept that time is actually created from within, that means that we get to control time. To give you an example, today I've got a really big work day. I want to record this podcast. It's my daughter's birthday. She has a friend over. I want to take her to the beach later and have pizza with my family. I've got 2 90-minute calls, which will probably go a little bit longer. And I've got a whole lot of clients to serve and videos I want to record. That's a massive day for this little projector, I tell you. But I have a choice whether I go into freak out, oh my God, how am I going to get this done, which is linear time, because a lot of people would take a week to get that amount of stuff done. Or I can go into what I know to be true, which is my quantum time, which is my Einstein time, which is my, oh yeah, that's right, I'm here to quantum leap and collapse timelines every fucking day. And that is what I choose to create from not my human, but from my being. I am choosing to expand. I am choosing to receive. I am choosing to be the queen that I truly be, to put on my crown, to be the powerhouse, to be energetic and to be focused on what it is that I'm doing, knowing that I can get anything done in any amount of time. I've also proven this theory as well, because of course, you know, the proof is in the pudding. And I am a very practical, logical person, although I am very spiritual and I am a medium. I still don't really believe things until I experience them. Same with channeling as well, and mediumship. So pretty much I decided to drive to my favorite place in the world, where we'll be moving to within the next year. And it's really interesting because it's usually a 6-hour drive, and that's with, you know, a stop to grab something to eat quickly and a bathroom stop a couple of times or whatever. And I managed to do it in about 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours. And I was blown away. I've never, ever, ever, ever done that drive within 5.5 hours, right? So 5.5 hours would be no stopping, no toilet breaks, like go, 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 go. It's always a 6-hour trip, but it ended up being 4 to 4.5 hours. I can't remember exactly. I couldn't believe it. I did a story on it. I was like, oh my God, I just created Einstein time. I left at 6 a.m. I got there at 11. What the heck even? I could not even believe it. Right, maybe I left it a little bit later. I don't know the maths of it. It doesn't really matter. Einstein time is something that you have to be. It's not something that you can think yourself into. And when I've tried to teach human design, and when I've tried to teach people how to, be in 50K months or weeks or whatever it is, I've noticed this as well. It's nothing you can really teach. Of course, you can teach the concept of it, but you have to allow yourself to lean into it. It's same with quantum leaping and, of course, collapsing timelines. If you're attaching too much to your mind and you're attaching too much to the outcome, to the strategy, to the I want this, it's far away, it's external from me, then it is going to take you a lot longer to get there. But if you take full responsibility that you are the creator of time and you get to actually deal with what's coming up in the present moment, being present helps you to collapse those timelines and to quantum leap. You focus, you do what you need to do for the emotions that are coming up. You listen to your intuition. You use this beautiful human vessel to tell you what to do. It speaks to you all the time. All the time your body is speaking to you. But if you dismiss it and you think, oh, this body is in my way and my being wants to be over here, my soul wants to learn this and my human's over here, and you create separation between the three, then what happens is you slow down. You go into hustle mode. You go into stress mode. You go into drama mode. You go into future thinking, and you go into sitting in the past, but you do not sit in the present moment. So as I record this podcast and I sat with the energy beforehand going, I've got this and this and this and this and this. What do I need to drop? Instead of asking, what do I need to drop? I asked, how can I have more ease with the time today, and how can I step into the vortex of Einstein time? Because I'm here to collapse timelines and I am here to quantum leap. To go from no money to 10K to multiple 5 figures to literally a 50K week is because I was able to step into this non-linear timeline and realize that I'm not a 38-year-old mum of 2, with creating an incredible business. I'm that's only a tiny little facet of me. Where most people feel like that is like the whole of them, and they go, I just can't wait to have a little bit of time by myself. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. Yes, of course you don't, because that's what you're calling. Because you have given your power away to believe that you are a human in this reality and that's all you be. And in fact, you are here in the 3D reality on planet Earth, and how you perceive that is exactly how you experience that. So, with the whole virus thing and with all the things that are happening in the world, I ask, what is the gift that this can be, and how can I be a contribution? That is so much different than, why the fuck is this happening? I'm going to go fight against this because this here is not okay. It's not right. It's bad. It's evil. It's just not good. There's 2 different energies. One of them feels expansive and powerful. The other one feels heavy, like a heavy sword, So wouldn't you rather come in with light and love and expansion and creativity and power than conflict and resistance and hatred? Because whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you believe is created, and having is literally what you get after wanting. It is a symptom. It is evidence of wanting. Having is the evidence of wanting. So whatever you have now, you've created. So to quantum leap, you have to actually focus on what it is that you're desiring, and then pulling it in and popping it into your body going, body, how do we play? Being and spirit and soul, how do we play? How can we all be together in alignment for ourselves? And alignment doesn't mean everything is fluffy and pretty and sparkly and beautiful and love, 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 love. No. Alignment means that you're in the present moment, and whatever the fuck is coming up, you deal with it in a clean, pure manner. So when a couple of things that came up for me today, when I was sitting there going, how am I going to get this done? I asked the question, and then I showed up for myself, my being and my soul and my body. Thank you. Oh, not to mention the divine beings of the universe that come to help me. And as I've been recording this podcast, I saw a feather, a big one of those big kind of, a big black one of a big bird, and it was flying in the air. And I was like, whoa, I've never seen like one of those flying in the air. Like, that's crazy. So then the other thing is doing things my way is how we quantum leap. So today I was on my email list, and I noticed this incredible coach who I bought one of my first programs off. She's definitely a multi-millionaire coach, and I think she plays with Tony Robbins and all the people. Like, she's up there. I never personally talked to her. I just bought her program. And what I noticed was her email was epic. It was like, hey, Victoria. And then wasn't even many words, but it was a little snippet of her incredible program that she sold me like 6 years ago, which I didn't know what it was. It was cool. It was about creating a summit. I didn't know what it was, but I bought it because the sales are really good. And yes, it did change my life, not in that moment, but it certainly did change my life. And here's the thing. I started having a sinking feeling. And I said to my husband, and my kids are around, and this is meant to be a blissful time of our day when we're hanging out together. And I said to my husband, why don't I have a PR? Why don't I have somebody creating this stuff for me? This is an epic, you can see it in my voice now. I was like, this is an epic email, and all she's doing is selling her same program, and I've got incredible programs, and I want to get my stuff out there so I can help people on a bigger basis. I want to expand myself. And he goes, Victoria, if you want to get a PR, if you want to, do that, then go ahead. And I was like, I started walking around the house, and I was like, oh my God, I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling heavy. I'm feeling not good enough. I'm feeling all these feelings. And I stopped and I realized, oh, hang on. What did you just do before? You read an email. You bought into a multi-millionaireess, her reality, and who's got like a team of hundreds. And here you are trying to buy into what she's doing and do it the way she's doing it. It's never, ever, ever, ever going to make you money. Ever. Now I'm seeing another feather flying around. To quantum leap and to collapse timelines is about doing it in your own way. It means, what is serving me right now? It's not somebody else's strategy that's going to get you there. Of course, every single coach that has given me strategies has absolutely, totally, and utterly changed my reality. It's been absolutely amazing, and I've been able to take what I want and leave the rest. But if I try to do something like somebody else, it can only live kind of like short, right? It's like when you buy a new car or a new ring or a new dress or a new hat or a new lipstick. It's like, instant pleasure. And humans are trying to live in this instant pleasure continuously and thriving and thriving and thriving and striving and striving and striving. And then they find themselves still feeling empty and confused and wanting what's the next thing. This is why we see many rich people like, oh my God, I'm not happy, and their relationships break up and all that type of stuff as well. But you can actually have it all. But it has to be in your way. I know that I could have made so much more money than I have already this year. I could have made so much more money, but integrity, being authentic, and being in my own lane and actually being ready for what I'm ready for and doing it in a way where I get to work a couple of hours a day and like really, really sit in the juiciness of what I'm ready for. There's no wrongness that I'm not a multimillionaire right now because I'm perfectly happy, perfectly looked after, perfectly where I'm choosing to be, and I own that and take full responsibility for my bank account, for my marriage, for my children, in our relationship, all of that stuff. To quantum leap is to acknowledge that you are more than just human. You are a being, you are a soul, and you only have to do 50% of the work, right? Because the universe will come in. The collective energy will help you. Whatever you're focusing on, the collective energy will mirror that back to you. Sometimes that really, really hurts. We see this with empaths. We've got empaths. We've got people that are sympathetic. We have got people with open heads in the human design and different energy centers, which are the chakras, that are open or closed, that are aligned or not. You know, it goes so much deeper than the 7 chakras, like way deeper, and I've always known that. It is really about knowing where you're at and starting from where you're at. And then saying, what is it I'm truly calling in? What is it I am truly calling in, right? Truly. Because when I said, I want to have 100K months, give it to me. I didn't get it. Because I'm asking for something that I wasn't ready for, that I wasn't aligned with my being, with my spirit, being spirit, my body, and of course my soul. I couldn't handle the 100K months. I couldn't handle the 50K months. I couldn't handle the 20K months. I couldn't handle the 10K months. I couldn't handle the 5K months. I couldn't handle it. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't present enough. I hadn't done enough work within my body, and the work was the breath work. The work was the meditation. The work was the walking and embodying and dancing and crying and screaming and laughing and going through the mistaken beliefs and the EFT. That was the work. And any spiritual entrepreneur who is making bucket loads of money and continuously upping their revenue and their reach, there is magic involved. There is. There is a vortex. And a lot of that is the Einstein time. It's the non-linear stuff. And a lot of it as well is putting themselves first. I see too many people trying to hustle. And I was a hustler. I'm a very good worker, right? I used to think I'm too dumb, not clever enough, so I'm going to have to work my ass off. And then I realized I'm the cleverest person I know. I'm fucking clever because I'm me. And whatever you think you're not, you probably are the absolute opposite, right? If you think that you are this, you're actually probably the opposite. If you think you're dumb, you're probably the most intelligent person in the room. Your intelligence just shows up differently, okay? So how did I align to a 50K week? Exactly what I just told you. And it was more than 50K. This was New Zealand dollars, and it was 50K in sales. Okay, it wasn't a cash week, but I certainly received cash that week as well. And I asked for contributions from everyone around me, my children, spirits, the earth. I will do the woo-woo with you. I will play and I will share my magic and I will show up and I will shine. And I do want to be highly compensated. So how much fun would it be to make 50K this week with absolute ease? Alignment, joy. How could I collapse timelines, and how could I step into a vortex where I am actually quantum leaping and jumping ahead of time, where the years, the lives can just, and that is what, when I do light coding and magnificent mediumship and all my different containers, even my free containers, that's what happens. People don't realize it because it is multidimensional and it's not of 3D. But what actually happens is lives and lives and lives and lives where your soul would have had to go through these experiences to receive. Wow. Just looking outside and there's these 3 big wood pigeons. That is magical. Signs and synchronicities come around. They happen when you are in this genius zone, when you are in this quantum leaping, when you are collapsing the timelines, which is what we are doing right now in this podcast. This is what happens when we go into the zone, when nothing makes sense, when you are so expanded. And I see people and they either like go offline in the middle of my coding because they can't handle it because they have to stop identifying with their mind and they're addicted to their mind and they don't want to let go of their mind. They've tried very hard to be attached to their mind. Or they pass out. Their body's like, get me out of here. And they pass out and they go to sleep. Or they go, oh my God, what the fuck was that? I feel different. I feel expanded. So when you're ready, you're ready. But we don't want to push the readiness. We have to do the work, the breath work, if that aligns. Of course, it's not the easiest thing to do in the world, to let go and actually let your body do its own thing without controlling it like a maniac. Drinking the cacao and having the cup of tea and the connecting with our loved ones and being the presence and breathing, all of those things is the work. So I'm going to leave that there with you now, and I trust that you received whatever you required to receive. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how this resonates with you. Please feel free to share this podcast. It's really super easy. You can actually just share this one episode, or you can share my entire Release Your Blocks of Victoria Bond podcast. I would love to see you in Holistic Energy Shifting, which is my free container. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me at victoriabond.co.nz. I have got signature programs and I've got containers that fit every single budget. I understand what it's like to have money and not to have money. I also understand that time is a beautiful, beautiful concept and we get to create it. So take ownership and know that whatever you're receiving is what you are choosing. And if you do require help to get out of, to clean up the unconscious mind, really, reach out to me. I do take one-to-one clients through an interview process and just make sure people are aligned to work with me. Or go find yourself a coach. I have had about 7 coaches in the last kind of 5-6 years, and my world has shifted and changed by being in their vortexes, because we are all souls. We are all souls here to contribute to each other. Have a beautiful, magical day.
And that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for joining the Release Your Blocks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear from you. So please leave a review and tell me what your favorite takeaway from today was. There is so much more from where this came from. You can also find me at Holistic Energy Shifting on Facebook, where you can find more content, more coaching, and more guidance. Have a grand and glorious day, and I'll see you next time.